If you recognize this building, you've got a damn good taste in TV series. Well, today we have a building making its appearance in the wonderful Jurassic Palms. We're back finally, so let's jump into the episode. And with that, welcome back to Jurassic World Evolution 3 and also to Jurassic Palms, our 90s inspired park. Well, it's been a while and I'm very sorry, but you can hear that from my voice. I've been out of contention for a while now because first I was sick, basically. Caught a flu, with 2 kids. That is unavoidable, basically, in these times of the year. But also, it just then transitions nicely into pollen allergy, which then didn't really affect me too much in terms of, being, sick or so, but it did affect my voice quite dramatically this time around. So I didn't have any voice for a week or so, and now for half a week it's getting better and better. Still not good, as you can tell, still very scratchy. You get that smoky voice camel now in today's episode, but should be doing enough for at least a little bit of an intro here to the voiceover. You'll get a bit of a nice transition today into time-lapse with only music, because I can't, talk you through the entire episode. My voice is not just doing it. And at the end, I'm going to show you a bit of a real-time part of what we've done and what's going to happen soon, because we are at the end of this project. I am planning to end this project in the, next 4 to 5 episodes, and also I want to be done by the end of April-ish, and I have a new project in mind in this game, so I really want to get into that one sooner than later. But also, let's quickly talk about what we've done. So, for those of you who have not caught what the building at the beginning was, and we haven't yet been there, this is the Sacred Heart Hospital, which is going to be turned into a hotel in here, which is the main building or the main place to be for the TV series Scrubs. And if you're not familiar what Scrubs is, it's a 2001 TV series made by Bill Lawrence, I believe it is, and it is a kind of a comedy a series in playing basically in a hospital and showcasing the young guys, coming into hospital, JWE, Turk, and all the others just starting their career in a hospital. And there are some insanely great characters, well-known characters, I think, across the board. Even people who haven't been watching Scrubs at least do know some GIFs and reaction memes and stuff like that of those. Bob Kelso is one of those, for example. So this series basically has a very special place in my heart, because when I've been about 18, 19, that was somewhere where the 4th or 5th season was playing, and that was the time where I myself have been in a hospital. In Germany you gotta do some, you used to be doing some services for the government. When you turned 18, you either go to the military, or if you declined to go to the military, you needed to work in some public services, such as, for example, the hospital. So I did, and during that time I kind of found my love for Scrubs, because funnily enough, despite the fact it is a comedy series and it doesn't want to be anything else, it does want to be a comedy series, it is amongst the most realistic depictions of how life in a hospital really is. That said, obviously Scrubs is more lean towards the US health system, but there's still a lot of similarities to how a hospital really is, and how the, what the heck? I heard a weird sound right now, but that shouldn't matter too much in here. You didn't hear that, but I something in my computer was doing some weird stuff. Anyhow, I just wanted to give you a bit of a nice kind of background to why this has such a special place for me. And because this series has started in 2001, the building we are talking about is perfectly suiting our project over here, because it has been the absolute 90s building. This wonderful hospital has actually been an abandoned hospital that they used for the series. And if you don't know, there is a Scrubs Season 10 now airing at the moment on Disney Plus or Hulu. Unfortunately, in Germany, it's not started yet. And if it wasn't for me being sick, this episode would have been out already 2 weeks ago when the first episode aired internationally. However, we needed to, move that episode a little. Because my voice, as you can tell, there's a little cut here in my voiceover. It just can't make more than a minute or so. Anyhow, what I'm doing over here finally is I incorporate this building, which suits perfectly our design of this series. And I want to combine this with the Raptor area over here. I don't know why, but in my mind there was like JD Dreaming of Raptors. And this is, I think, if you know the series, JD is a lot of daydreaming. He's got a lot of visions and stuff like that in the original, but also in the new series, as I was told. So that's a very classic storytelling element of the series. And so I thought, okay, this whole area could be styled around JD's wildest dreams of raptors. So we already have the Velociraptor on the right-hand side, which, as you've seen, I kind of changed a bit of the habitat for them. One of the sides has now a very nice kind of zoo-inspired viewing, which I'm a big fan of, and it's also kind of, yeah, it's really the most known thing I can do from when it comes to zoos, like this kind of raised area pattern that then gives you a whole nice view inside of the habitat, but at the same time it can give us an idea to how to keep people safe from, you know, animals not escaping. And we will also have an area on the other side for the Atrociaptors that will come to the other side, and on the back side of the habitat we are also going to be able to have yet another raptor. And then we also do have, or actually we may not go to the raptor, maybe we go for the Deinonychus or so, maybe, I don't know, or we go for the Utahraptor, I don't know. We have some options here. We'll talk about that. And anyways, just making sure that this area is really meant to be that area around this hotel being the raptor area of our park. And yeah, this is the hotel we are building. This is the Sacred Heart design, and I am pretty happy with how that turned out. I figured that the whole process took me longer than I expected, as always, but I'm very happy with the end result. It looks really clean, really nice, and it just gives the whole area the vibe I wanted it to have. We're also going to build like a little restaurant area, which is loosely inspired by that design. I first of all wanted to attempt to go for the kind of bar design that they have in this series. Fun fact though, everything that you see in the original Scrub series everything was produced inside of that hospital building. So what they did is they took all of the floors of the hospital that they needed, so like, you know, the operation area and the different stations and stuff. But then they turned the third floor, I believe it was, into the production area. And the basement was basically the area where they put the pub and the flats of all the different characters and stuff. So everything could be produced in this big building. But as this building has been scrapped down now, it's not existing anymore in that original spot, they have been rebuilding the entire thing in studios now for the 10th series, which or 10th season, which is kind of ridiculous, to be honest. But yeah, very glad they did, because I love me having my original Sacred Heart, because it just feels so familiar, feels so great. And you know, remembering all these times, I remember when I even watched this back in the day on this crappy kind of TV in the hospital when I had like early shift or night shifts. That was also where I used to watch the series quite a bit. So yeah, you get a lot of this if you work in the hospital. It's been one of my most stressful times in my life, to be honest. And I guess my respect for people working in a hospital, or just in general in the health system, has come to an all-time peak, and I think you can't even get this higher anymore. What these people do is beyond me. It's ridiculous what they achieve every single day. What, you know, they do is you cannot really see this if you haven't been in the system. It's just ridiculous. Anyhow, that's the moment where I have to really save a bit of my voice. I'll leave you alone with the music now. Enjoy this, and I'll be joining you again in a bit when we are going to the real-time part. on the newly created plaza area. As you can see, this is that little restaurant in the middle, which is not fully styled yet. We are getting to that in the next episode. So this is where kind of some of the entrances are. I think the best entrance is definitely the one on the oh my god, I gotta have to smooth out some of the ground, I guess. Yeah, there's that one entrance which is gonna look a bit better in a bit. Yeah, but you know, I'm more yeah, well, that is not how it's supposed to be. This is our Sacred Heart, as you can see, the star of today's episode. And on the other hand side, this is where we have a couple more viewing options. They look very sad for that shabby kind of beige wall over here, don't they? You know, well, nevertheless, we are going to have a look if we can get a look inside of the Velociraptor habitat over here. I'm not sure if I can walk all the way there, but I should be able. Yes, I can. Well, almost. Like, this is the way you can get. Then we can have a little look inside of it. Well, we can't read. Hello? Hello? Okay, we gotta get out of this out of this camera real quick because that just annoyed me a little bit here. So, but this is the viewing they have. Unfortunately, as you know in the game, they can't really walk on anything else than the pathway. So you won't have people walking too much over here because that is not really working the way it should. Hopefully, we get the option to get raised path in the future. Still is one of my biggest issues I have with the game. But yeah, you can see this area over here looks really cool now for the Velociraptor. So I did do a bit more theming this time around, having a couple of fallen things over here. But where do they roam around? Can they even get here, by the way? Yeah, they can. This is where they have the Raptor kitchen still. I still need to style that a bit more nicely from the outside. They're all on the other side, though. Let's have a look if I maybe did not see someone on the other side. There is one. Actually, two of them there. I should put maybe some food down here as well to make them go there. I guess this is a good idea to just have a foodie down here. That's nice, you know, it's almost like hidden in here. I guess that's nice. So they do have a reason to get down here. Unfortunately, there's no other reason else than water, I guess. Gotta stick some planters down here for the trees to make them look a bit more realistically embedded. Same goes over here. And this is going to be the Atrociraptor habitat, which they're going to have a fake backstage area, which is sitting fictionally in that area here, be connected with those two buildings. So these will be the fake entrances, even though they are the remote viewing entrances for the remote viewing of our swamps over here. However, I do want to connect them to what has always been planned to be a backstage area in the ground of this little hill to work a little bit with the different height elevations we have over here. I do have to look where this tour is going though, because, you know, as always, the tour is sometimes in the way, but I think it's going to take its turn here. Yeah, it's going down here into the swamp area. But yeah, it also kind of fits well because you can see this is the Pyroraptor Dome. So whenever I'm finished with this area, the Raptor area is going to be fully connected. The only little bit, you know, splitting the whole thing is going to be the T-Rex area, but I'm still very happy with the T-Rex area nevertheless. But you can tell how this is going to be established. This building is going to be our main focus. Oh yeah, I did, by the way, look at that. I did do the Sacred Heart hotel build. Oh my god, I unfortunately did just speed up my mouse. I'm not sure why I did this. I quite like the idea. I even used that little hotel sign here in the middle. That just looks like a little kind of nice detail. We have some backstage props here and there, also there. But yeah, there are two functioning hotels in here. Both are operational, and you can see they only have one visible dinosaur at the moment, which seemingly is only a raptor. But as soon as some more are here and here, we are going to increase the traffic in this area tremendously. This is also why I'm going to fix some of the plaza areas here a bit, and there will be a second plaza. This is some food amenities in here, and we will have some souvenirs and arcades on this side, so that this is going to be a lot more a center of the whole park. Now, speaking of, also let's quickly go to this hatchery and synthesize a dinosaur, and let's type in raptor to see what kind of raptor we have. So we also could go for the Austroraptor as well in this area, which I may actually want to go, but we do have the Atrociraptor, as I said, is going to be the next one here. We could have the Utahraptor. I'm still a big fan of that one. The Velociraptor we won't have any hybrids in this park here because they don't really fit in here. The Oviraptor is something I already have, so I guess we can have both. We can have the Utahraptor and the Austroraptor, because that one is quite a bit smaller though. So we could use that one with a nice little kind of, you know, more swampy area, I guess more water focused area, which would also break a little bit with the deserty mood in here. So we could have the Raptor then in here and use this area to fit in the Ostroraptor. Now I think this is then going to look really cool once that's done. And we have the hotel embedded here. Also, speaking of sidelines, this all the hotel is not destroying any of the sidelines apparently, because I obviously looked into that. So you got the Gary building over here dragging the attention here. You've got the big dome building grabbing the attention over here, and the hotel is just peaking above this area. So that is really cool. That is really cool. And as I said, we are going towards the end of the project. Just so you know, we are going to have, and I can already tell that. So we are going to fit in one last big exhibit here in our tour, or gyrosphere tour we did last time. There's going to one big habitat finishing off this. I'm waiting for some particular thing, so hopefully that's going to come with the next update, and if not, I have another idea what to do. And then we are going to have this space being the sole space I want to fill in as well, and this is going to be a huge mixed habitat of herbivores. We do have already quite some nice herbivores in here. As you can see, there are some stegos in here as well as some Ankies, and you know, they do come together very nicely, but there apparently are some very famous animals missing, for example the Triceratops as well, Gallimimus and all these kind of things. So a very classic kind of Jurassic Valley is going to be sitting in here. This is my final thing. I guess this is going to be the final episode, a pretty highly detailed Jurassic Valley. To finish this all off, we are going to have a very cool centerpiece sitting in here. I've got a very nice idea what to do, and then this area is going to be a huge kind of backstage hub. I also thought about having like a little bit of a kind of ship connection over here, like a dock, you know, that's going to be docks, and we have a second big backstage that is going to be fit in here. So just so you have the idea where this is going in the next episodes. I am a huge fan of this project, but I want to bring this to an end. I can also show you now by zooming out in this cam, which is going to help a little bit more. Let's hide the UI away. So as you can see, the park grew already to a very nice size, you know. This is definitely something I really enjoy. You can really imagine if that's going to be finished over here with the Jurassic Valley, that whole park bit in the back will be parking lots and just like some arrival points. It's going to be in here. This is another huge parking lot we have here, and then this is going to be, as I said, the big backstage area, because the only backstage area we have so far is that tiny bit here at the beginning, which is apparently not big enough. So that one is going to be sitting here, and we'll get a tunnel connection to what is going to be the big one in here, and then we have our park done. I am beyond excited to how this is going to look then in the end. I'm so happy. I'm still a big fan of our entrance area here with the very kind of 90s 80s inspired buildings. Some of these building types will be finding a new home, or not a new home, but will be similarly featured in this space over here with the arcades and stuff, so that we have another big building area. And yeah, so this is that. I also thought about maybe making some bigger hotels in the back, but yeah, well, I guess that's something for the future to look into. Anyhow, guys, you would do me a big favor if you would like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, or just simply watch another video, hype the video. There is like a tremendous amount of stuff you can do to support the channel. You know, lately this is unfortunately become has become unfortunately a very important thing to do on YouTube if you want to support your favorite creators, because the algorithm won't do stuff for us anymore, simply due to the fact that if you don't do shorts these days, you will not be found. And well, who am I going to say this to? Maybe you have not even seen this video because of that very reason. But yeah, I just still enjoy doing what I do so much over here. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. I certainly did enjoy building. This is just that turned into such a nice looking area here already, and I can't wait to show you the progress for the next episode, which I've already started with and looking really cool. So yeah, can't wait to show that to you. But now it's time for you to click on the like button, do all the kind of stuff, and watch the next video. I talk to you in the next episode. Until then, have a wonderful time. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.